Hi, it's Tim Hagen from Progress Coaching, and I'm going to do something we've never done before. I'm going to show my screen. I'm going to show you a couple different tools. So I've never done this before, especially with a live stream. So we'll see how this goes. But one of the things that we've been doing at our company is, I don't think any of us in the coaching practice, any of us, quite frankly, in the business world, can really ignore artificial intelligence. It's here, it's coming, and it's coming fast on many levels. And Stephanie Hutchinson and I started to think about how do we help other people do that? Because we're actually having some success doing it. And what I want to do is just talk to you about AI and automation. I'm going to show you very briefly a couple different things. Now, I want you to think conceptually of your coaching. Now, if you are a coach, a leadership coach, this is for you. If you're a coach on the vendor side of the equation, this is for you. We're not going to show you any sales bots, which we can build. We're going to show you some things to facilitate and enforce your coaching practice. And it's tough, right? Because when I coach people and I'm talking to them, and then we wait till next week, what happens between then? Now a lot can happen. And that's kind of the cool thing. So what I want to do is show you a couple different tools, and I want to whet your appetite. And then at the end, I'm going to show you a QR code if you want some information or want to chat about how we could help you. This is something that we are now calling A Squared, a new venture that I've started with Stephanie Hutchinson, who's my partner in this. She does a great job of this. And this is something that we're pretty passionate about, because often when I'm working with clients and they'll say, geez, we've got people all over the world. How do we remind them to do it? I said, well, we can set up an automation campaign. Wow, we really need them to take this assessment. How can if our leaders are so busy? I said, well, we could set up an AI agent and embed the assessment, which I'm going to show you here in a few minutes. They're like, really? And I said, yeah. So what we wanted to do is think of a way that we could educate. So we have an introductory course coming out, educate, support. So we're also working with coaches in the following where, we'll do an assessment of your business. We'll build you a strategy. And then if you want us to help you with implementation, otherwise we'll give you a list of tools that you can use. And there are tons of tools. So we've actually doubled down on about 4 major platforms that are assisting us right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on my screen. So I hope this goes well. We'll see. And so when I turn on my screen, you're going to see my entire screen. And then what I want to do is just show you one of the tools that we have built. And this is for me. I should have had this more set up, but here we go. So this is one of our platforms. And so what you're looking at, everybody, is a coaching platform. And so when you build out artificial intelligence, there's something called a knowledge base. And essentially, when you look at this knowledge base, and let me make this a little bit, give me 2 seconds here. And I want to make this a little bit smaller. There we go. And so when we look at this, we have a lot of content here, okay? And so when we go through this, we have something in here called coaching map. If somebody wants to coach somebody on negativity, here's a downloadable map. How to facilitate coaching positivity as a team, positivity without being defensive, being more professional. And so we built out all this content, okay? Now, one would argue, well, geez, what do I do with this? Here's an automation tool on the left, somewhat of an automation engagement tool. And then this is our AI agent here called CAM, which is Coach Apply Mentor, which is the name of this product. So when I click on this tool, what this allows me to do, or allows one of our clients to do, is create a message. I can send in text, and it will prompt people to open up an account, okay? Oh, it already sent it. So essentially what this does, and I'll show you some engagement here in a second. There we go. Here's one of our clients at Microsoft. And so what we can do is send audio, we can send video to each other. I'll show you Anne-Marie here in a second. Looks like I'm doing a lot of the talking. But essentially when she fills out a form, there she is. When she fills out a form, we collaborate together. And so this is a very subtle form of automation. I can do this in my mobile app. This is a tool that we also encourage all coaches to use, and it really changes things. And so anytime somebody at any of our client sites want instant help. We typically take about 2 to 3 hours to respond, but it's automated. We get an alert, we see it, we read it, we hear it, we watch it, and we respond. Our clients love it. Now, the other tool is something called CAM. Now, CAM, let's just say here, let's just put a question in here. Let me get rid of this. There we go. Yeah, I'll start a new one. So I'm going to put, what are 3 questions for someone, let's say, lacking initiative? Remember that tool I just showed you? Oops, sorry about that. And so what this is going to do, it's going to go read that platform. Okay. It's going to read that platform and it gives you the answers right away. It's actually reading this. It's not going out to ChatGPT. So if you want to stay in alignment with your brand and what you do, if you happen to be an executive coach or what have you, what this is going to do, everybody, is allow you to use your content, assemble your content. It creates what is called a knowledge base. What AI does is then it reads this and delivers it in a way. Now, you have to train AI agents. You have to set them up for success, for lack of better description. And when I first started learning this, probably a couple years ago, I started to think, boy, this is complicated. It's not. There are some tools, and I promise you, just like any technology implementation, things are going to get easier. Tools are going to help you use the tools. That's happening right now. And that's why Stephanie and I decided to get into this business together. So when I look at this tool, and again, I should have started a new chat. Here we go. So what I can also do is, what are 3 questions? What are 3 activities? Again, what I love about this is not that it gives you quick answers, right? What I love about this is it stays within my brand. It's in synchronization of the way we teach. This is what makes this so unique, everybody. And this is a simple AI tool I built with a great consultant by the name of Matt Parsons. I'm an awesome guy, really has done a great job for us. So you can see there's an AI tool. So at the bottom of this knowledge base, which I built, which I provide my clients, one on career goals, people can print or download this. And this is a repository of coaching conversation strategy maps, but they can have help from a real world person. Everything is automated in terms of delivery, in terms of our response, and then the AI tool that I just showed you, which is right here. That is one of the tools that we have built. Now, with that being said, we also have a number of different tools out there that allow us to also stay in front of people. So this is something that we have right here called Coachable Careers. And let's be honest, when we have career goals and things like that, what happens? We forget. I mean, what is it? It's been estimated that people give up on their New Year's resolutions by February 15th. We forget the things that we're committed to. People are busy. What you're looking at here, everybody, should blow you away. It is so simple to build, and it's a little complex at times. There are conditions and situations you can put in here. This is a pretty simple example. So we have a joint venture with a great company called Outbound View, called Coachable Minds, and this is something called Coachable Careers. So what happens is after they take one of our live events, they sign up with a QR code or a link, and then they get an email. And that email, let me open the email here. There it is. So you can see it down here. And so what that does is then it wait 2 hours, and then we send a text message to their phone. So what's really cool is after our events, we alternate lessons to the desktop, text messages to the phone, 100% in alignment with the content that they learned. Our clients love it. Now, let me be honest. None of the technology you're looking at right now is our technology. And what I love is anybody who knows me knows I'm kind of a tech junkie. I'm a shiny object syndrome problem. I should probably be in therapy. But what's really cool about this, and this is where Stephanie is fantastic. So you can see these condition email 7. It'll actually, once we run it, it'll show us our open rate, our click rate. And so this is an automation platform that we use. And so what we're doing and what you're seeing here, everybody, is something that allows us to stay in front of people. So let me stop the share real quick. There we go. I hope that all worked. And so what that allows us to do is when I do a coaching session, I can send out reminders and give just a click with a QR code with a link to our clients. If I'm coaching an executive, Philip, one of our certified career coaches, does this. If I'm coaching a team of 25 people on better sales coaching practices, I can set up an automation campaign. I can build an AI tool that they can go ask questions as leaders. Now that's germane to our business. So what we've entered into is this A squared, which is AI plus coaching, AI plus automation for coaching, is working with companies in teaching them some of the opportunities that they have. So let me now take you to 2 AI tools that we built. And let me do this real quick. I hope this goes well. Here we go. So this is Lunar Career Coach. Now this does something a little bit different than Aspen, which is coachable. So this is need help with a coaching situation. So when I start this here, how can I help you? I need to approach my boss where there is conflict. And essentially what this is going to do is read that and then respond to me. We got in an argument and need to approach him again and fear his conflict or fear his response. So what this is doing is reading the thing, and you can see it's pretty much in synchronization. And what this allows you to do is get some advice. What are 2 things you would suggest to handle this carefully? Now, we do something that's very interesting. On our pages, we actually give the format of the prompts and the questions to make it easy for people to engage. And so you can see it's teaches something called I statements. So my point being is what's cool about this is something we've built for individual contributors to coach upwards and to coach sideways. Now, the other tool that we've done something very interesting, is something called a career coach. So what this does is a little bit interesting. This does something and it has an embedded assessment. Now, we could start with the assessment, which we clearly have right here. And what we can do is also embed an assessment form. Now, the assessment can come up through some prompts, or we can start it out right away. So let me start it this way. So if you fill the form in the chat, it's going to start to ask me questions. Now, if you look below Luna, you're going to see some percentages. There we go. So we've already started this conversation. We're at 7% complete. And it will continue to ask questions. So what it's doing is asking me questions. And you see below, it's actually completing an assessment. So I love it. So now I can review and submit. Now keep one thing in mind. I'm going to just refresh this and I'm going to start over. So I'm going to fill the form in chat. Now it might recall me because I didn't really submit that form. I just realized that. Yeah, it just did it again. So essentially what it does is it asks you questions, but what it's really doing is filling out an assessment. And what that does, I'll make some edits. No, I want to make some edits. And so what this is going to do, what is your name? Tom. So I'm actually filling out the assessment. Again, you can see it went down to 13%. Let's just say Hagen. Now here's something that's really cool. I'm obviously just putting in junk, right? What I would share with you that's really, 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 really cool is your boss's name. Let's just say Tammy. Oh, yep. So I didn't have the right format. Now, what we've done that I think is really smart for our business, and this is why we advise people, is now it's asking questions like, let's talk about your current job or current relationship. It's okay. That all of these answers are going to be routed to my boss, Tammy. So what's happening is Tammy's assigned to me an AI agent to start some career planning. She's going to get all the results. I can ask multiple choice questions with multiple responses. And you can see it's going through it. So what this is doing is making the conversation for the leader much more easy and readily available. And so what we've literally built here is a series of coaching questions that we would encourage the leader ask. We're just kind of automating it for them. And so what this is doing is giving them a tool that they can outsource, but more importantly, the answers, we've programmed it. And I hate the word program because there's no coding involved. It's very easy to do. This allows us to then have the answers routed back to the boss. Now we're almost completed here. Let's just say first time leader. So there's multiple choice, there's fill in the blank, and this will be sent to the boss automatically with a PDF. Review and submit. And so I can actually go through and see how I answered all these. Gives me insight to my answers. I can actually change them right here or add. So I'm just going to click submit. Now my boss has received that. So essentially, I could also ask questions. What else can I do to improve my career? And so what we've done, and I don't know if this agent is set up this way to answer those open-ended questions. Sure, it's got more content in there. So you can also have an interaction, but we actually have used it to embed it into conversations. So essentially what you've seen, and let me get rid of this again, stop sharing. There we go. So what's really cool about this, everybody, is what this allows us to do is when we're working with let's say, a training session, we can reinforce it with lessons. We can reinforce it right to the cell phone. We can send audio, we can send video. We teach everybody these tools. There's so many easy tools to use. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm a gadget guy. I buy a lot of stuff. My partner, Dave, hates me for it. He's our CFO. He said, we have 8 authoring tools for LMSs. I go, we do? And it's allowed us to look at this. What we're currently working on at Progress Coaching is an AI tool that embeds that live help engine, but also gives them, would you like us to set up a reminder system for you as it relates to how to handle conflict or how to ask more open-ended questions as a salesperson? And if they click yes, what will be cool about it is it will actually, let me move my camera here. Sorry about that. Is we're going to integrate AI with automation. So what I would encourage all of you to, and let me just show this to you real quick. I'm just going to show this on my screen. And if you want, just get a QR code here. If you want some information of how we can help you. I didn't want to turn this into a big sales pitch, but a couple of people already just put into the chat, how do we get information on this? We have a course coming out that's going to be out in the next 30 days. We also have a consulting 3-step process where we do a discovery, we build you a strategy, and then if you want us to do the implementation, we can, or we could just give you the tools that we think that would help you. Stephanie is fantastic at this. So just get a picture of that QR code, and then we'll go from there. And that is essentially what A Squared is all about. And we also have a newsletter coming out. So with that being said, if you're not in AI, it's not as complicated as you think. There is, and I think this is why Stephanie and I decided to do this business, what we've really uncovered is there's a lot to learn, from training your agents to taking prior conversations and educating your tool. We do a lot of that for you. Number 2 is taking your content in your knowledge base or building knowledge bases for you and allowing the tool, kind of like the first Cam that I showed in our platform, that's reading that tool, that's been pretty perfected. I don't think we've had an error in that in a couple of years. So with this being said, coaching, if you're not using AI, you're losing an opportunity. If you're not reinforcing with automation, which I think is one of the simplest things, and I think where AI has gotten a little bit of how do I say this? Almost like the back seat of the bus. It's not the front seat of the bus because AI is just so prevalent. When we do our automation for people, and I said, we can send these lessons right to your desktop. I'll tell you of one situation we're doing right now. We have one client who says, Tim, we can't send lessons to people's desktops. They're tellers. So it's a bank or a credit union type organization. I said, well, what if we sent messages right to their cell phone? Now the cell phone just became your advantage. And one of the sequences every 2 hours. Don't forget open-ended questions. Don't forget to smile. We can build all that. Now, that doesn't mean you can't build it. We can educate you. We can train you, or we can help you build it, or we can help you through a discovery process, develop your AI automation coaching strategy. So I wanted to share this with everybody. I didn't mean to turn it into a sales pitch, but reach out to us, Tim at progresscoachingleader.com or Stephanie at progresscoachingleader.com. I gave you the QR code. Hopefully you filled that out, and, we'll reach out to you. We'll do a discovery call and just kind of walk through what you're doing, what you're, potentially needing help with. Because when I first got into it, and I'm pretty technical, I'm kind of like, how do we make sense of all of this? That is clearly in focus now. And that's where I think we can help you. Let us know your thoughts. I hope this is worth it. I know I gave you only a couple brief examples, but we're doing stuff with assessments, integrating AI with automation. We're also doing sales chatbots for people's websites. We're doing some really cool stuff now. Stephanie is really the lead strategist on this. She does a fantastic job. If you're not doing this, I'm going to give you an example. I had a friend who's an executive coach. He goes, I hate all that. I prefer to work this way. If you're another executive agent who comes in and says, you can spend less time with me, Mr. and Mrs. Executive, and I can actually give you more, who just created the advantage? That's what AI and automation can do for you. Let us know your thoughts. Put some comments in. I hope this is worth it. We're going to continue to do these with just some samples, probably once a month from Stephanie or myself. And again, I hope you'll continue to watch these. I think we're going to try to do, a segment on AI or automation and kind of educate people on tools and what we're doing and how it works and the benefit it can create for your clients or your employees inside your company. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate your time.